to San Jose. It's 46 miles to the San Jose Convention Center from my home in East Oakland, a home I am desperately trying to save. It's June 2011 and it's already very hot, and KCBS says in San Jose the temperature 103 degrees. Moments later, my air conditioning died. Inside the convention center, it's very hot too, no air conditioning. And there's all these people. Restroom, please. Down at the end of the hall. That's like a block away. Go out the door at the porta potties. Be sure you get your ticket stamped or they won't let you back in. I get my ticket and my book. NACA, Neighborhood, read it again. Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America. For the past 2 years, I have doggedly been in pursuit of a mortgage modification, only to be turned down by various government agencies. But NACA, Save the Dream, is a grassroots organization put together by irate private citizens, and they've been holding these seminars across the country, and their success sounds so promising to me and these few thousand other people here in what kind of feels like a refugee camp. There are these black drapes that separate all these sections. You're herded into one, try to listen to some information, fill out some forms, get them stamped, and off herded to the next section. 3/4 of the way down is the inner sanctum. Black tables go all the way around with chairs on the outside tightly placed with one phone for each chair. In the middle is a beehive of activity with all these NACA people and all these machines, including this one behemoth machine in which is fed all documents to be electronically sent off to the mortgage servers of the homeowners fortunate enough to get this far. It takes me 4 days. By now, I'm pulling a little suitcase full of documents. I squeeze into the table, right there, unload my documents, and pick up the phone to speak to a NACA representative in their North Carolina office to review my financials. Yes, hello. Sorry, it's rather noisy in here. Listen, I already have 7 financial statements that I've filled out in the past, and you have a different one. And it's not one that I'm going to be able to see, to follow along with you. Okay? Huh? So, we're clear on my income, my gross income right now. Now you want my expenses. Utilities, yeah. I got gas, electric, and telephone. No, ma'am. Telephone is in a different category. Okay? Now, here's my phone bill. Now, it also includes my internet and my cable service. No, ma'am. Those are 2 different categories. Here's a big one. Household repair and maintenance. I'm sorry, ma'am, we don't have a category for that. We put that in miscellaneous. After half an hour She concludes, your figures show that you don't need a modification. And the woman leaves the room, comes rushing over, picks up my booklet and writes, return to rework, face to face. Signed J. Sneed, Pod 4. Thank you. The next morning, in my little suitcase, I sit across now from a good-looking young African American. And he's got this huge computer screen with all these numbers all over. And I recognize it. This is the financial statement from my North Carolina inquest. And some of my numbers. Food costs are too high. Maximum for a single person, $250 a month. And he puts in the lower figure. Gas. Don't you go anywhere? And he puts in a much higher figure. And these numbers are jumping all over the page, each time changing the bottom line figure until he says, that's what your modified mortgage should be. And with that, he escorts me and my suitcase to the next page. It's cordoned off with yellow caution tape, the kind they use in crime scenes. A guard lifts up the entryway. Wow. No flimsy bricks here. Now, there are these sturdy partitions that shield the representatives and the barons of the financial industry. I sit across from mine. He's a very large man. And his eyes never leave the computer screen. Even when he's bearing down in a fight, huge, gigantic hammer. In between bites, he tells me, yes, I will get a modified mortgage for 3 months, during which time I have to submit the bank statements, the employment verifications, the profit and loss. I think, no! I can't go through this anymore. I spent hundreds of hours in the last 2 years doing this. The supervisor comes rushing in. There. You've been dealing with government agencies. Now you're going to be sending your data directly to us, your mortgage service. And it's just for 3 months. Interesting statement recently from the Justice Department. Of particular concern are reports of borrowers submitting documents multiple times to their mortgage servers with no response, or followed by requests for the same documents yet again. Now, before going back to my story, there's some overview facts in this larger picture. Bear with me, I'd really like to share with you. For example, the National Consumer Financial Protection Bureau report speaks to the fraudulent practices that cost millions of Americans their jobs, threw our cities and schools into crisis, and left families and communities ravaged by a foreclosure crisis and an epidemic of underwater mortgages. And in response to those who maintain that people who lost their homes, well, they're to blame, aren't they? Because they knew all along that they couldn't afford those mortgages. Here's what the National Financial Crisis Inquiry Commission report said. Many borrowers do not understand the most basic aspects of their mortgage. And subprime mortgage brokers, to put it very mildly, were not known for their morals or ethics. 90% of appraisers surveyed said they were pressured by mortgage brokers to artificially inflate home values. There are books on the subject. There are many. I have here a few. For example, this one from Sheila Bair, a Republican, and chairman of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation under Presidents Bush and Obama, bull by the horns, fighting to save Main Street, that's us, from Wall Street and Wall Street from itself. This one, The Looting of America by Les Leopold. This one, Bailout by Leo Borowski, who was the Special Inspector General in charge of the oversight of TARP under both Presidents Bush and Obama. An inside account of how Washington abandoned Main Street, thus, while rescuing Wall Street. Interestingly, the first chapter of his book is entitled Fraud 101. Now, remember that supervisor? The one who said 3 months? That was in June. It's now February. And I'm finally being put through on the telephone to the hamburger man. Now in his Beaverton, Oregon office. This will be our first conversation since that meeting with NACA back in San Jose.
Your documents have to be sent through one more department for approval, and then I'll be speaking with you soon.
Soon? Soon? For the past 8 months, I have been sending you a stream of paperwork. I've been Xeroxing and faxing and notarizing and talking to any number of your so-called service representatives. You never get the same one twice, and they've all told you something different, including just last night, a conversation with a woman named Heidi, a 2.5-hour ordeal, during which time she said, well, I had to go through my financials again because there's a 3-page form. And after all that, she tells me that I probably won't get a modification because of my savings, which had previously been classified to exempt them, as they should be, as a 401k retirement fund. Consequently, I didn't get very much sleep last night. Now I'm going to lay down on my couch, and I expect to hear from you soon. An hour later, he called back.
Your mortgage modification has been denied.
Oh. What? Why?
I cannot tell you why.
And there's nothing more that I can offer you. But that's impossible. I have done everything I've been asked to do, including making those on-time mortgage payments long since that 3-month time of reduced modifications was completed. What do you mean? And then he goes on something about how I was temporarily put into a forbearance program that would then make me close to being 60 days delinquent, and then I could bypass the eminent default test, which I failed because of making on-time payments.
You are not 60 days delinquent.
Are you telling me I should be 60 days delinquent?
I cannot tell you to not pay your mortgage.
But now, hold on. What happens if I don't pay my mortgage for 2 months? Yeah. I know the routine. Bank statements, employment verification, new tax bills, and more forms. Expect threatening phone calls, fun, and call you again in 3 months. And then what happens?
You will be very
A few evenings later, I went to the city to meet Jim, my friend. And he chose this charming little restaurant. It's kind of like a pub. And I'm sitting across from him. And behind me on the television is the Super Bowl. It's like an overtime. That doesn't mean anything to me. Jim, I've been so anxious to talk to you. You won't believe the latest in my mod saga. Oh, yeah, I'd like to hear about it. Well, at first, the hamburger man, he told me that I was denied a modification. Whoa, look at that. Jim, are you listening to me? This is kind of important. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Well, after he told me that I had been denied, I kept him on the phone. And do you know what he told me? In so many words, to not pay my mortgage for 2 months. What? Why, you can't do that. You'll lose your credit. You'll get those threatening phone calls. I know. He warned me about the phone calls. And I know it sounds so crazy, especially since I was told from the very beginning that if I had any hope of getting a modification, that I had to continue making my payments on time. And I've always paid my bills. Seems like you have to know how to play the game and make adjustments when the rules change. Just then, pandemonium broke out in this little college. The quarterback throws a prayer of a ball to the sidelines. This guy catches it, his own team, and he runs for a touchdown. And the New York Giants win the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not very much into football, as you can see. Sorry about that. But the next morning, I picked out this New York Times photo of that quarterback. Eli Manning, steely-eyed, mud all over his uniform, holding firm under pressure. I tapped him on my refrigerator. And he was my inspiration for 2 months when I did not pay my mortgage and got those twice a day coercive telephone calls, and in the mail, foreclosure threats. Made my call to the hamburger man, it was 3 months, too. And then more red tape that stretched from the spring through the summer. In mid-August, I was sitting in my living room with a very good friend talking about this message. And all of a sudden, underneath the front door comes this envelope, a UPS silently humming under the door. Open it. And she says, open it. Congratulations. You are eligible for a modified mortgage beginning in September of 2012. Since then, home values have begun to come back up, especially in the affluent neighborhoods. But like 10 million other homeowners across the country, my house is still underwater. And they are still putting people out of their homes. In my East Oakland neighborhood, within a 1-block radius of my home, in the past several months, 4 homes have been foreclosed, and they are still empty. Brown weeds have taken over what was well-tended lawns. Their stories are far more compelling than mine. I was fortunate. I learned how to play the game. Only took me 3.5 years. During that time, often, I would question, was it worth it? So I'd ask my dog, Fancy, would you like us to be able to stay here in our own home? Sweet home. Oh.